Hello friends, welcome back to Learn It Guide Tutorials. This is our second video in Terraform tutorial series in which I am going to talk about Terraform basics. And these are the topics we are going to cover throughout this entire tutorial series. So in this video, I am going to talk about the Terraform basics. As part of this Terraform basics, I will cover the list of Terraform basics files, Terraform providers, and how do we configure the Terraform providers based on the project requirement, and also I will explain the Terraform workflow. Also I will show you the demo of all main Terraform commands which are very important. So already I have documented this content in our blog, that is learnitguide.net. I will provide you the videos and related links, everything in the description. Please make use of it. And we have uploaded a lot of videos related to multiple technologies like Ansible, Jenkins, Kubernetes, Docker, and many more. If you are interested in learning, then please do subscribe now and click nearby bell icon so that you will get the notification of the new videos. Let's get started. So before we start into that actual Terraform basics, let me tell you a glance of Terraform, how that works. Okay. So in order to create any infrastructure or anything if you want to manage, then you must have knowledge on the target infrastructure you are going to manage it. So only if you are able to do it manually on the target environment, then only you would be able to create the Terraform for the automations, right? So here, let's take an example that we are going to manage the infrastructure on AWS. So once we are decided, so what are the services we are going to manage it? Like what resources? Are you going to manage EC2 related? Are you going to manage IAM related? So these are services, right? So once we have a plan to create the infrastructure through Terraform, then DevOps or infrastructure engineer will create a directory where we will add number of Terraform manifest files. So on these Terraform manifest files, so we will define all the resources that we are going to manage on our target infrastructure. So once you have all these Terraform manifest files, we have to initialize the directory where you have stored these manifest files. That is because only if you have initialized your current directory, then only the Terraform will be able to understand that it has to identify all the Terraform manifest files and that need to take necessary action based on your manifest file. Also, when you are initializing your current directory, that will download the core files that is related to your target infrastructure. For example, so if you are managing your AWS environment, then the Terraform has to download all the required bundles of AWS, and we call it as a Terraform core. So that will have all the APIs related, like how do we use AWS CLI in order to manage your infrastructure on AWS through command line. So we use AWS CLI, right, with some authentication token. Similarly, this Terraform will also download the required packages and will store it in the current directory. That is why we use this initializing. Okay. For that we use the command called Terraform Init. So that will initialize the current directory. Alright. So this is the first step we will be doing with the Terraform command, that is Terraform Init. Once that is done, we will create Terraform manifest files based on the request. So once the manifest files are ready, then we have to execute the command called Terraform plan. So this command will make sure that what are the changes that is going to be updated on your target environment. This is like a dry run. This will not apply the changes on your target environment. This will go and check your current state of the resources on target environment and will provide you the report like what are the new resources going to be created, what are the changes that is going to be modified, and if there is any resources going to be deleted, that also will show you as a report. So the Terraform plan will create some execution plan and will provide you the output that is going to be updated. So once this is done, if you are happy with the Terraform plan output, then we will execute the command called Terraform apply. So this will apply all the Terraform manifest files that you have in your current directory. So this is the main command that we will be using to apply the changes. So this is how the Terraform works. let's talk about Terraform basics. First, we need to understand what are the files Terraform has. Alright. So the first thing is, on Terraform files, we will be using the extension called .tf, which is .terraform. Then only the Terraform will understand that this particular file belongs to Terraform. Like how do we have a .py for Python, .yaml for Ansible. Terraform also have these extensions. And the other file is resource state. So this state file will have current state of the resources. Okay, created only when you apply your Terraform changes. Terraform will go to your target infrastructure and get the current state of all the resources, and it will store it in this file for tracking purpose. Also, you could see one more file called tf backup file. That is like a previous backup of your state file. Then finally, we will have a files dedicatedly for variables. That will have an extension like .tf verse. That is Terraform verse. Okay, so you can actually define the variables in your .tf manifest files. But still, why do we have this .tf verse? That is because when you define any variables in this particular .tf verse file, that variable will be available globally within the directory, so that in any Terraform manifest file, we can refer that variable. So that is why we have this dedicated variable file. Alright, so these are the files we have in Terraforms. The next thing is syntax. So we will be using the HCL syntax. Okay, so that will be easy for us to understand the blocks. So if you see, I have two sections I have mentioned over here. That is, one is provider, the other one is resources. Okay, the first thing, when we are creating a Terraform, we have to define the provider. That is our target infrastructure. So as I said, if you are going to manage your AWS, then your provider would be AWS. For that, we need to create a section or block. Okay, you can call it as a provider section, or you can call it as a provider block. So this will be our first section in our Terraform. So that Terraform will understand that we are going to manage the particular provider. Okay, here it is AWS, and within that section we will have some parameters or fields. So like which region, which access key should I use? Okay, those kind of general fields that need to be updated over here. So after this provider, then we will go for creating the actual resources. So resources are nothing but the resources on target environment that you are going to manage. For example, IAM is a service, but within the IAM, if you are creating a user, then that is a resource. User is a resource, group is a resource. If you are attaching any policy to a user, then that is a resource. So all these will be created under this resource. So we can see all these kind of resources in detail in a later topic dedicatedly we have for Terraform resources. Now we need to create directory, we need to create Terraform manifest file. For that, we need a code editor. Why? Because I can create these Terraform manifest with using my notepad or using vim editor in Linux, but that will not have a feature like autocomplete or auto suggestions. So that kind of features will not be available easily. So we can make lot of syntax errors, typo errors, right? So to avoid that, we have to use some good code editor. Okay, I'll be using Visual Studio Code for throughout this Terraform tutorial series. Alright, let me just quickly go through this Visual Studio Code. Okay, on this Visual Studio Code, you can see a extension option. Okay, here we can install the extension for the project we are working. For example, if I'm going to create Python related projects, then obviously I will create Python files. In that case, I will install an extension for Python, so that this particular Visual Studio Code will understand the file and it will provide all the necessary options, suggestions. It will do autocomplete, many more features. Okay. Similarly, as I'm going to create a Terraform related things, Visual Studio Code supports Terraform as well. Okay, so on these extensions, there will be a search box where you can search for a particular extensions. So you can search for Python, then you can install it. You will have a lot of extensions from both trusted as well as the community. We need to go through each extension. So just go through this, check the ratings. If you're happy with that extension, then click on install and you can activate it. Similarly, I'm searching for Terraform. So it is listing all the Terraform extensions. Just go through all the extensions, tell you the features like syntax highlighting and all. If you see these snippets, see, just they are typing Terraform and it is giving all the suggestions. It is auto-completing the syntax. This is why we use such code editors. So here, this is the one I have installed, HashiCorp Terraform, because this is a trusted one. So already I have installed it. On some extensions, even if you have installed it, it will not work. On that case, you have to restart or reopen your studio code. Okay, then that will work. Now we'll create directories here. So this is the Explorer where you can open all your project related. Okay, first, for any project, we have to create a dedicated directory. If you see this, under this Terraform, I have many folders. If you see it in Windows, see, these are the folders it was showing on my studio code. Because I have opened this folder in studio code. Either you can create a directory in Windows, then you can open it on studio code. Or from the studio code itself, you can create files, folders, anything. If you want to open any folders or files, then click on that file. Just click on this open folder. It will prompt you to enter your the directory from your Windows. Okay. Just select the folder you want to import and click on select folder. That will be listed over here. This is my directory structure as of now. So for our project, I am going to create an empty directory. From that directory, we are going to create all the files. So I'm going to use the Visual Studio Code itself to create the directory. So click on this box in the empty space. Don't select any of these folders and click create folders, because that folder will be created under this directory. So your directory structure would be, confused. So don't select any directory. Just click on the main box and click on directory, create directory. So here I use demo v1. So directory is created. If you expand it, it doesn't have any folders or files because it is an empty one. So let's start creating files. The first file I will be creating to define my providers. Then only I will start creating my resources. Okay. So when you create file names, as I said, please give meaningful names so that it will be easy for others to refer it. So either you can call it as a main.tf. Generally people used to create it in the name main.tf, but I prefer to give like provider.tf. Actually the file names doesn't matter. So once you have selected this file, the file will be open on the right side panel. So here you can start writing your resources. So here, if you type just provider, that is auto completed my syntax. It started asking me to enter the name. So name is nothing but a provider. If you are managing AWS, then it is AWS. If you are going to manage your Azure, then Azure. So that name we have to give it. Then further within this section, we need to give the parameters. Let's see the list of Terraform providers. So go to Google, just search for Terraform providers. This is the official link of registry.terraform.io. Click on that browse provider link. So here if you see, a lot of providers are supporting by Terraform at the moment. Just go through this for your knowledge. And let's click on AWS. So latest version is 5.61.0. Okay, this is the latest version they have. So also you have a documentation. Just go through this. On the left side you will have all the services. If Terraform supports any services, obviously they will list all the services over here. So this is the AWS provider. In the document itself, we have lot of information. It is more than enough to start writing Terraform manifest files. Okay. Since the first section would be a provider, let's get this provider section. Okay. If you scroll down, they will give you all the usages, parameters, everything. Here they have the syntax as provider, and clearly they have mentioned this particular syntax is supported before 0.13. If you see the other syntax, that is Terraform 0.12 and earlier, then we have to use this below sections. Okay. Simply you can copy this section and paste it in your studio code. So already you have a syntax for provider, or just copy the fields alone, or simply copy all the section and paste it over here. Okay, so I have copied everything. Resources. Let's delete these resources. We'll take it later. Okay. So this is the provider section or provider block where the provider AWS is already there. If you see, Studio Code itself is providing some warnings like a version is deprecated and it will be removed in future versions. So you can remove it if you don't want. The next option is region. Obviously in AWS everything is underlying on the regions. So we have to define on which region we are going to use this Terraform. The next thing is, so Terraform is a separate tool and your target environment is on cloud. Alright. So how that both will work? If I say it is a AWS, then if I want to create any user from externally using Ansible, using Puppet or using AWS CLI, then we would need a secret access key, right? Then only we would be able to create or manage resources on AWS. So we would need one secret access key to manage your resources using Terraform. So already I have created one user. Similarly, you can create one user dedicatedly for Terraform. Okay. So here already I have a user AWS CLI. Similarly, you can create one user dedicatedly. Okay. So just click on this kind of users and go to security credentials. So click on this create access key and you can create it. So AWS will provide you secret access key and secret key. And I'll be using this key for my demo purpose. So here, if I want to specify these access key on your Terraform files, in my document itself, I have mentioned the options along with version and region. Okay. If you scroll down, so this is the provider section. You can simply copy this and paste it in your Terraform. Okay. So if you see, version, region are same. Additionally, I have provided access key. So here, then secret key. So these are the two fields we'll be using for specifying the secret access key. But I would suggest not to mention any secret access key in your Terraform code itself. If you are going to store this Terraform codes in a public repository or something, then that will be compromised. Okay. So that is why I would suggest not to mention access keys in Terraform code itself. Instead, AWS CLI supports different ways to use this access key. Either you can go for environment variables. Also, if you install AWS CLI, then that will provide an option to configure it. There is a command called AWS configure. So that will prompt you to enter your access key. That will be stored in your home directory. Okay. There are different ways to manage these access keys. It is not necessary to put the access key in Terraform. So this is relevant to AWS CLI topics. That is why I am telling, if you are going to manage your infrastructure using Terraform, then you must have a knowledge on your target infrastructure. If you search in the Google AWS CLI install, so it will provide you all the informations like Linux, Windows, everything it supports. For example, if I am going to use it on Windows, there is a installer. Just download this installer and just install it. So on the command prompt, you will get an option to configure it. So this is my command prompt, and if I type AWS version, it is providing the version output. So I can go for configuring my AWS CLI, AWS space configure. Then if you hit enter, it will prompt you to enter your access key. So the access key will be stored in your Windows. Okay, it is out of Terraform. So you don't need to specify these fields. I will be managing my AWS access keys using my AWS CLI, okay, not in my Terraforms. So I don't want to take any risk. Okay, I have removed access keys and even the version that was showing warnings, right? Okay, so this is my provider section. So we have defined the first section. Okay, now let's start using Terraform commands. As we have defined our provider, then we have to initialize the directory to tell Terraform that I have already provided the provider section. You can start downloading with respect to my provider. Visual Studio Code itself providing the command prompt. Okay, from this window itself, we can execute our command. From here, if you click and drag, you will see the terminals. Okay, from here you can type all your commands. Even it supports multiple terminals that is supported by your Windows. I have PowerShell, Git Bash, everything. Whatever it is convenient for you, you can use it. If you select command, that will open the command prompt. If I use Git Bash, because I have installed Git Bash, because this particular Git bash software is very helpful for me because I can use Linux commands in Windows. If you type ls, it will provide you the list of files. That is why I use Git bash. So you can close all the windows. Let me again drag. I will use only the PowerShell. That is a default one we all will have in our system. Now, so it will show you parent directory. Okay. Now we need to get into the directory that we have created. That is demo v1. So use cd space directory name. Once you are entered in the directory, now you can type ls command. So it is showing only the file that we have created, that is provider.tf. Okay, first we'll run our Terraform command, that is Terraform init. This will initialize your current directory. So Terraform will download all your required packages for your provider. It will go to Terraform and it will download all the required files. Okay, so if you see the version, it is showing version 5.61.0. This is the version we have seen in the official document. And once the command is done, if you see, there is a hidden directory and hidden files in the name of Terraform. So within this .terraform only, all the required files will be there for the providers. So this is the main Terraform core. Okay, so we don't need to worry about it, just ignore it. Even if you have deleted, we need to again run Terraform init to download all the required files. So if you see, the Terraform init has done, so it is provided the output like Terraform has been successfully initialized. So you can now begin working with Terraform, which means we can start creating Terraform resources. Okay, the next command is Terraform validate. So this command is not necessarily needed because when you do a plan, it will obviously, if you have any issues related to syntax, it will throw you the error. But still we have a validate command to validate the syntax. For example, if I make any small mistakes in my file and running Terraform validate, it is throwing the errors. Okay, if you want, you can use it. Okay, so provider is completed. Now we'll start creating the resource files. So if you want to create Terraform for any resources, then again go to the Terraform official website. Then we need to find the resources or modules relevant to your resources that you are going to manage. Okay, for example, if you are going to create any user of IAM, here in the box itself you can search for IAM. It will give you all the results. First start with some basic resource creations. Okay, then only you can go for higher environment, because Terraform is very simple tool, but it can manage very large number of infrastructure. For example, if you want to create a VPC on AWS, just go to browser console, go to VPC service, just click on create VPC. It will prompt you to enter only VPC name and CIDR range. That's it. Your VPC is ready. But still, it has a lot of sub components like subnets. How many subnets you want? One public subnet, two private subnet, or multiple subnets. Then again you need to create NACL. Again you need to create security groups, internet gateways. So a lot of sub components are there. It is not a single component. That is why I am telling again, like if you want to manage any infrastructure, then you should have knowledge on it. So if I want to create VPC in Terraform, then again I need to create VPC is a single resource, subnet is a single resource, NACL is a single resource. So I need to find all the relevant resources that is needed for my project. So let me search for IAM, for example. Okay, here it will show you all the IAM related output. Here under IAM section, you can see all the resources. You can manage access keys, account alias, group. You can add a group into the users. Find the relevant one. Okay, this is how we explore a lot of modules and resources. So this is the one I was looking for, AWS IAM user. Just click on it. Now it will give you complete information about that particular resources. All the resources examples will be provided here along with required parameters, optional parameters. We have to choose which one is perfect for our task. For example, if I am copying this resource section and pasting in my Visual Studio Code, you can start creating your resources in single file itself, but when it is start growing, it is not easy to manage, right? So that is why for resource management, create a separate Terraform manifest file, not inside the provider file itself. Okay, let me create one more additional file, iam.tf. So why do I create this file? in this file I'm going to manage something relevant to IAM services. Okay, that is why I have created this dedicated file. Here I just paste my resource section. So this is how the resource syntax will be. We have a dedicated topic for Terraform resources. Okay, so resource section will be like this only. It will start with the resource. Then within double quote we have to give two names. One is the exact Terraform modules or Terraform resources. So the AWS underscore IAM underscore user, that is the actual resources given by Terraform. So we cannot modify this one. Okay. The other name is resource name. Okay. This is not actual your target environment resource name. For example, if I am going to create a user called John, on AWS the username is John, but on Terraform it has to create one ID for tracking purpose. So here we need to provide a name for Terraform, not your actual resource names. Okay, this is a Terraform tracking name. You can put something user 1, user 2, something like that. Within syntax, going forward you will understand everything. Okay, within the syntax you can define your name. So that user 1 is resource name for Terraform. This is the actual name where you need to provide your actual username. Okay, here you can define John. John will be created on IAM. The next option is path. So here it is like a home directory. You can define your path. Either you can put slash or you can put slash system. Okay. So tags we can remove it. Simply let's create this one section and I will copy this and duplicate it for creating one more user, that is user 2. Here I will mention Karthik. Two resources I am going to create it. User 1, user 2. Okay. Now we have a manifest file for creating some IAM resources. In order to validate your syntax, you can go for Terraform validate command. It will validate your syntax. Okay. If you don't have any issues, then go for Terraform plan. So Terraform plan will execute a plan for you. It will go to your target environment and it will compare your resource definition in your Terraform files, and it will tell you the output like the changes, whether it is a new change or it is going to be modified or it is going to delete it. When I hit enter, it is providing me the output like how many resources. It is showing all the resources. If you see the plus, then it is going to create a new user. If you see minus, then that is going to delete the resource. If you see tilt symbol, then that is going to modify the resources. Okay. If you see these outputs, I can see multiple options, parameters, like these fields I have not mentioned in my resource definition. AR and force destroy. Okay. These all required metadata for Terraform for tracking it. Okay. So we don't need to worry about it. If you see this ARN, this is Amazon resource name. Okay. This will be known after apply. So Terraform is saying that this ARN I cannot provide you now, only when you apply. Then only I will be able to see that ARN. That is why it is showing that known after apply. If you see the last line on the plan, it is showing 2 resources to add, 0 resources to change, 0 to. So only 2 resources are going to add it. So now you are done with your plan execution. Okay. Now we can go for Terraform apply to make the changes. Terraform apply. Again it will execute the plan. Then it will prompt you to provide the confirmation. If you type yes, then it will start applying the changes. So I provided the yes. Then it start created and it is showing the creation complete in seconds. So apply completed, resources 2 added, 0 changed, 0 destroyed. That's it. So Terraform applied some changes on your target environment. Let's go to AWS and go to users. And so just refresh the page. You can see John and Karthik users are created. These are basic resources that we have created for now. Now if you see, when I have executed this Terraform apply, TF state file has created here. If you click on this Terraform state file, it will have all the metadata of your resources. Okay. If you see this under instance, so it is showing all the resources, user 1, okay, and it will have all the metadata for tracking purpose. If you see the ARN, initially before applying, it was showing known after apply. After applying, it got the ARN value from AWS and it stored the information in the TF state file. Okay, let's do some changes. So initially we have created the users newly, right, without any changes. If I'm running the Terraform apply, again it will compare your Terraform manifest file and your target environment. If there is no change, then it will show you the output like no changes. It matches your configurations. Okay, let's make some changes. Okay, let me just change the path to /system. Okay. Now it is showing that the tilt symbol for the resources, which means the tilt is for modification or update. The other user is not showing because that is matching the configuration. Only if there is a new change or new creation or deletion, then that will show you the output. So this is the field it is going to exactly modify it from old value to new value. Let's do Terraform apply because we are aware of these changes. Now we have one more flag called auto approve. Okay, along with this Terraform apply, because in automations we cannot go and type these kind of prompt. For example, if you are creating the infrastructure automatically using Jenkins or something, on that case you cannot go and enter yes during the Terraform apply. So that is why we have an option called auto approve. So you can give that Terraform apply, then auto approve. This will not prompt you to enter yes or no. Okay, straight away it will consider as a yes and it will start apply the changes. Okay, now if you see I'm getting an error, that is because the new path, it should begin and end with /. So let me put / over here. This is how we troubleshoot and fix the issues. Okay, apply completed, 0 added but 1 changed. Okay, this is the expected output. Now go to AWS and refresh the page. For Karthik, the path is changed. Okay, there is one more command you should be aware of it, that is destroy. Terraform destroy. So this Terraform destroy will delete all the resources managed by this Terraform within this directory. Okay, for example, let's say there is a development environment, the development is completed and you want to destroy or you want to delete all the resources associated with that development environment. Okay, on that cases we can use this kind of Terraform destroy command. This will completely delete all the resources. Okay, let me just execute this Terraform destroy to delete all the resources, and again it is prompting me to enter yes confirmation. Okay, done. So it is deleted. These are the basics of Terraform commands, Terraform manifest files, resources, providers. Okay, so hope you have got an idea about Terraform basics. And similarly, for creating Terraform resources, we have a lot of things to do. It is not simply section, because we have interpolation, we have variables, we have outputs, we have conditions, statements. Okay, we have to use everything for creating big infrastructure. For that, we need to identify all the resources, supporting parameters and all. So we have a dedicated topic for Terraform resources in the upcoming video. See you in the next video. Till then, keep practicing and have fun.
How did you feel? Is it helpful? Appreciate our efforts in the comment section below. Hit like button, share with your friends about us, subscribe our channel to get further updates. Stay connected with us on social networking sites. For more free tutorials, visit our website www.learneticguide.net.